Welcome to NBNR, the authority on unfiltered opinions and authentic player insight for Nebraska athletics. Connect with us on Twitter, Instagram, and at nbnrpodcast.com.
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
You know, we just really love Hunter. He's a junkyard dog.
Kenny Bell ran up to me. He's like, you know what you just did?
You get mad when you go get in the portal and go to another podcast?
You know, usually dumbbells are in pairs. They had 5 dumbbells.
Dang on it, Muhammad!
GBR.
Red indeed. No block, no rock. Season 4, episode 25. Coming at you from the Nebraska Brewing Company tap room, as always. Guys, real quick, let's go around, talk about the drinks that we are drinking. I walk into the brewery. I am looking at all of the different beers that they have on tap. I see that one of them is new, and it's called Middle Child. And I said, that's me. I am a middle child. I am treated as such. And I am a redhead on top of that.
Yeah, ginger middle child.
Jeez. It's just, dude,
life has been tough. Huh?
God hates me. Connor, I'm drinking this. You know, you didn't really tell me what it was, but I'm getting, it's like a wheat-ish IPA. Like, tell the people what the middle child is, besides me.
It is a hoppier American wheat. It's not hoppy.
And Connor is a middle child.
I'm also a middle child.
Yeah.
It's funny. So it's actually somewhat named after me. But American wheats are a very neglected.
You do look like an American wheat.
Yeah, thank you.
American
I'm
white.
from the Midwest, dude. We grow wheat here.
Look like an American.
I don't,
What does that even mean?
I don't know.
Mike.
I just
no.
roll with
You
whatever
know, I
Mike
feel like we
says.
should stop. Mike, explain.
He looks white.
He looks grainy. Anyway,
It's been dark outside for days. There's been no sun.
hey, the sun came out today.
Yeah,
It's
it did.
50 degrees, thank God.
Thank God.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. So American wheats are like a very neglected style. So I don't know who came up with the name, but they're like, well, middle children are neglected. We should call it middle child. And so I wasn't here when it got named. They called me and they were like, hey, is it okay if we call this middle child? Are you going to be upset? I was like, no,
triggered?
what? I don't get it. And they're like, no, we're making fun of it because you got neglected and the beer styles. I was like, okay, now I'm offended.
Yeah, and
like,
you
I would have just ran with it.
Yeah, and look, I don't know if my mom's watching. I doubt it. But
Not after the description you gave for yourself.
this middle child beer is dedicated to you, Mom.
Yeah. It is. It's a really good beer. Like
It's very good.
Yeah, I say hoppy American wheat. It's not hoppy. It's a really, really good American wheat.
All right, get into what you're. All right,
It's a Pilsner.
Let's go to our special guest.
Yeah.
Let's
just
go.
right away, just hitting it.
Caleb,
All right.
what do you got in your glass?
I believe this is called Ale Storm.
That
Yes,
is.
nailed it. I wanted something to look like I've been hydrated, not nearly as hydrated as whatever cider you're drinking.
That's probably a good game.
That is
isn't
a
it?
good game.
Yeah. No, this is nice, and because it's for the Storm Chasers, right?
Yeah, stir it up.
Yeah. So it definitely tastes like something I can have at a ballpark. Yep.
Oh yeah.
It tastes like something I should have in Memorial Stadium.
Oh
wow.
Hey, Trev.
Eh?
Ding, 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 ding.
Eh?
Let me call up TK2 phones.
Yeah.
See what he's up
there you
to.
go.
Yeah.
TK2 phones. Make it happen.
Yeah.
TK2. That's Tyler Kai, by the
Yeah.
way.
Oh yeah, I love Tyler.
Yeah, he's a good guy.
Tyler's a good dude.
Dude's freaking
He's
awesome.
awesome.
Does he let you call him TK2 phones, or is that just us?
That's probably just you guys.
You should just drop it to him one time.
I feel like I'm a lot more professional with him.
It's fair.
Yeah.
He came to my tailgate.
No one has ever
So-
accused us of being professional.
He knew what he was getting into. He came to my tailgate and he's like, this is awesome. We bust out the flat top. We were doing Phillies and stuff.
Oh yeah.
He has no hat, just like you. And it's freezing outside. You guys have no freaking real coats on, no hats on. What
No.
are we doing?
I had a real coat on.
That is not a real coat.
It was not a fashionable coat. That is a heavy, warm coat that I had on. And the reason I wasn't wearing anything on my head was because I typically have a man bun, and I wasn't about to ruin the game day look before I even got in the stadium. Okay,
Can't ruin the look.
I got to look good while I'm up there
It's
in
your trademark.
the old media box.
Yeah, I get it.
No, not really.
He's
Two guard all day, baby.
you talk about being professional. Come to work with a rat tail. I don't know how to feel
Oh
about
my
all
god!
that.
No. It doesn't. No, we don't go out the back.
That's
It
fair.
goes up top.
That I'm out of my element there, so I'll just take your word for it.
Have you ever considered the mullet?
God no.
Would you?
No.
What if it was for like charity?
Ooh.
You know,
F that charity.
From the kids.
like, dude, you don't even name a charity. No.
No. And the Kaleb Henry charity for middle children.
yeah. It just goes to me and Jared.
And even more likelihood that, what's the anti-mullet? How do I just get the money away from you guys?
You go long in the front and short in the back.
Here's the thing. It'd be mullets.
comb over.
It'd be mullets for charity. He would show up and literally just shave it in front of us. Like, damn, Kaleb!
Look like a vaudeville villain.
Yes.
Josh says a French braid would be the opposite of a mullet. So.
Oh, I'd love to friend. Like, the thing is, I can't braid. I've tried with my daughter's hair and I just can't. My wife makes fun of me. I'll be like, oh yeah, I tried to braid it. And she's like, yo, you didn't.
No, you made a bird's nest, actually.
Well, no, you did try.
Right.
That part's accurate.
Yeah, that is accurate.
Here's the thing. Now, I mean, are you supposed to know how to do that? Is that supposed
As a
to be
girl dad,
something?
I think you need to learn that.
Okay, that's fair.
Mike,
That's
can you
fair.
braid?
Well, my daughter's hair is not long enough to
Right.
braid. I'm working on the single pony right now. I'm in that stage of life.
Oh yeah.
So
How old is she?
she's like 20 months old.
Okay, yeah.
So
She'll grow
almost
into
two.
bluey, by the way. Like,
Yeah.
she'll definitely start to get bluey a lot more.
Yeah.
No, I was very good at hair then. As a matter of fact, like, I had to take my daughter to work this afternoon before I came here, and it is a bun and it is straight on top. And my wife is like, why is it so high? Why
And you're
is
like, look at me.
why is it on top of her head? And I was like, where's it supposed to go? like I can see her, the hair all comes together right here. That was probably looked like really explicit with my hands. I'm sorry.
Turn butter over there.
But like, it just, I pull her hair up and it goes into a bun. Like that's it. And then it stays out of her face. That's goal one, right? With a kid, because they're going to have enough other crap that they're trying to eat or just like shove into their face.
Just constant.
Yeah. They're just all the touching. Just keep it out of their face.
Yeah.
Successful.
Yeah.
Have you seen the vacuum cleaner hack?
Yes. I need
Have
to
you
try
tried
that
it?
when,
No,
when her hair is long
haven't.
enough.
I haven't, but like, I kind of want to.
Yeah.
But I also know how dirty and just garbage our vacuum cleaner is. like we're gonna have to buy new before we try that.
Yeah. Right.
That's fair.
Hey, the shop back from the garage worked just fine.
Like, what do you got?
So I did start my evening with the best beer on tap here, the EOS Hefeweizen beer. Fantastic beer. But I did switch a good game, a little bit lighter. You know, it's just such a chuggable beer when you're sitting here talking behind a microphone. So
Yeah.
especially at a game day, you know, maybe if this beer's canned, it'll be at the tailgate beer of the year. That's all I gotta say. KB, what you got?
I'm drinking the EOS Hefeweizen. I can't get off of it, honestly. I haven't had anything else
It's the
in like
best
2 months.
beer on tap here. Have you had that one yet?
I don't.
Next.
Maybe.
I don't know. Like, it's been a long time since I've been back in here.
That's true. I know.
It's been like a year ish.
Easily.
Yeah, it's been
Yeah.
at least a year. At
At
least a year.
least.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to bring our guests back, especially the ones we like. So
Yeah.
back.
We like you.
Good.
We like you.
That's great.
Did you bring your punch card for appearances on MBNR?
No, I just
well.
assumed you guys took care of that.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah.
We'll keep track.
Yeah. We'll talk to the secretary.
Yeah.
All right, guys, all our listeners, all our watchers, please come to the Nebraska Brewing Company tap room in La Vista, Nebraska, 68128. Connor, help me out. World class.
In every glass.
All right. Now, over the weekend, my favorite NFL team, the Ravens, played the Chiefs. I just want to get this out the way.
Way to get in front of it.
A couple weeks ago, maybe even a couple months ago, I had said, you know, the Chiefs, they've lost the mystique.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost the luster, right? The aura is gone. Wrong. You had to know that they were going to figure it out. They got freaking Mahomes. As a Ravens fan, I just want to say, Kelsey teabagged you all first half.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I'm watching him the whole game. Didn't chip him once, didn't touch him once in the field of play. Afterwards, you know, the jabber jaws after the play's over. Sure, guys. Fucking Ravens. The time of possession disparity, first down after first down after first down. Defensive line got worked in the first half. Zay Flowers melts down twice on one drive. The moment he pushes the dude on the ground, I said, you're going to get flagged. Lo and behold, fumbles at the 1 yard line. Anytime you fumble at the 1 yard line, you don't deserve to win. They just played stupid.
Did you not? You forgot the third phase.
Yeah,
of
the
that.
third, yeah.
When he threw his helmet and hit something and then
cut his finger.
Cut his finger.
Yeah.
Like you need those to catch footballs.
Allegedly.
They played so
Shaq Griffin did it.
played so fucking stupid. Now, part of the reason why I love the Ravens is because they're that team. You watch them, they're kind of dirty, you know. I like it when it's working. When they're winning, it's kind of cool.
It's fun.
Mm-hmm.
But when you keep getting flagged and you're losing, quit playing so freaking stupid.
I'm not a Ravens fan, and I was like screaming at the TV after that.
Yeah.
So
Flowers play.
Yeah. Do you feel worse than Detroit fans, though?
No, you should not.
Don't you? Why are you even thinking about this? There's no way in hell you feel worse the Lions fans do right now.
Because the Ravens will be back.
Dude, I seriously
The Lions won't be.
I'm just sick of the whole Lamar. Like, Lamar's got to get his damn ring.
He ain't never going to get a ring.
He deserves one. I do believe he does.
Why does he deserve one?
I think he's a generational quarterback. Absolutely.
Two-time MVP, baby.
Yeah, two-time MVP.
He needs the damn ring.
Okay. You say generational quarterback.
Yeah.
So what is that? What how many many
Uh-oh.
quarterbacks are there in a generation, I guess? Like what does that term even mean? A generate like he's really good? Because what's the generation he's playing with?
I think as far as Lamar Jackson goes, I think generational for him is if there are more than one, there aren't many QBs playing with a skill set like Lamar Jackson.
So are you saying he's a generational talent?
No, I'm saying a generational QB.
Okay, just check it.
I think he's both.
Yeah.
He's a generational quarterback and a generational talent.
Yeah,
he's a unicorn when it comes to a player.
Have a skill set like Lamar Jackson.
Yeah, he's phenomenally good. But when you say someone's generational, that means there's no one else like him in what, a 10-year span, 15-year span? No one else as good as him can do anything like he does? Because you had the end of the Tom Brady era.
Sure.
You had Aaron Rodgers before he went psycho.
Yeah.
That was like, what, 20 years ago?
5. And then you've had Patrick Mahomes on top of everyone else who's still been pretty good.
I would say Mahomes is generational too.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, obviously.
But again, you're looking at two different, like I'm comparing it based on skill set.
Mhm.
Like there is, I don't think I can name a quarterback in the league right now that has the same skill set and the focus on those skills like Lamar Jackson. Like that mobility, the ability, or a way to read defenses. Obviously, we didn't see that a whole lot in this Chiefs game. The interception into triple coverage was hurtful.
Listen, if you put Justin Herbert on the Ravens, they're in the Super Bowl right now.
I have heard this argument so much, and I have nothing but respect for Justin Herbert. But Justin Herbert's mobility is nowhere near Lamar Jackson's. That first touchdown, that 30-yard bomb to Zay Flowers.
Yeah, I mean,
Justin Herbert isn't doing that.
No.
When he ducks that tackler.
Josh Allen can do that.
Josh Allen would have run through him. He's not ducking him over his shoulder and spinning around and dumping a 30-yard bomb.
Okay, so he runs through him and then he ducks it. like what do you want?
Again, that's still a different skill set, right?
Caleb, I watch Lamar Jackson.
His mobility is
Lamar Jackson, and damn it, we're gonna get the whole thing. The other thing too, their play calling sucked ass. They ran 70%. It was terrible. 70% of times on first down, they freaking passed. You're not supposed to do that for the Ravens.
Yeah, I didn't realize they hired Whipple.
Yeah. When did they hire him as an analyst?
Kill me.
After he got fucked from the rest. Listen, Lamar is.
By the way, that's the last time I was in here. We were talking about Whipple getting run over on the sideline.
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah. Good. No, it's because Mickey put a hit on Whip.
Mickey put a hit.
Hit on Whip. Carried around in a wheelchair. Listen, for Lamar, you watch him, and I know it's a cop-out answer, but he is the ultimate eye test quarterback. You can't look at his numbers and go, whoa. You watch him, and 99% of the time, unless he's playing the damn Chiefs, he makes everybody else that's at the top of their game, like the top 1% of athletes in the world, look like me. That's what he does on a week-to-week basis. He makes professional athletes look like me.
For sure.
And I can't even argue that.
You can't. No. And
but he's still MVP.
I had an argument, not even an argument, just a discussion about, okay, who would you rather have in the playoffs? Dak Prescott or Lamar Jackson?
Lamar Jackson.
You don't say Dak.
Lamar Jackson.
You don't say Dak.
I said Lamar. Okay. So, but I'm just saying, like, it was a question. I'm like, well, I really have to think about it because they both are regular season quarterbacks.
Did you say in the Super Bowl or in the playoffs?
In the playoffs.
Oh, well, I know Dak's playoff record, so I
I don't think Dak would be the.
Yeah, we just went immediately. Who does Dak play for?
Yeah.
It does not matter. We're not going to take him. And my thing is, I would absolutely take. So I'm a Bears fan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So are they keeping Fields?
We'll get. Okay, let me do this first. So I would absolutely take I would take Lamar every day and twice on Sunday. I think he's a phenomenal talent. I don't think he's top 5 in the league easily.
Sure.
If not top 3 on any given week. And so many weeks he's the best quarterback in the league. Like there are just weeks that he does that.
Mm-hmm.
But when we say generational talent, that means there is absolutely nobody you can replace him with on a team and get that or better results. And I just don't think he's that guy that you cannot have the Ravens results or better with 10 other quarterbacks in the league.
So let me ask you
I feel like
this.
10 is high.
So you use Tom Brady as your example.
Well, I was just saying like where you were generational because you had the end of Tom Brady.
Yeah. But I was just wondering because like how many generational quarterbacks are in the NFL then?
That's my question is like how many is it? Are there 2 depending on like how old guys are?
Yeah.
Is it 3 at any given time? Like because when we say someone is generational, and this isn't just the NFL, like we can talk about it for Nebraska. Like what is Dylan Raiola to Nebraska? Is he a generational quarterback?
He's a generational talent at the moment, but he hasn't played.
Right. No. But like his potential,
Right.
he can potentially be generational for Husker fans on like what he can bring to Lincoln and what he can do for the team. But ultimately, what does that mean for any league, any team in the span of, especially for something like the NFL? There's a finite amount of players.
Sure.
Does generational, like, can there be 5 generational quarterbacks in the league at the same time?
I think
Maybe.
I use this.
If you think about it.
I use this analogy a lot, especially on this podcast. The Supreme Court defines pornography. It's like I can't define it, but I know it when I see it.
I've never seen it, so
yeah.
Saint.
These eyes are pure. But that's how I define generational. So again, I don't think it's a one QB at a time thing.
Right.
Like obviously Patrick Mahomes is generational. Nobody is ever going to doubt that. But there are more than just Patrick Mahomes. I think Lamar Jackson is absolutely on that level. Not like on Patrick Mahomes. I'm not calling them equals. But I would say that he still crosses into that generational aspect. I think Josh Allen could get there. I think he's like right on the bubble. Like he's just below it. But there's a lot of QBs in the league right now. I mean, we go back 10, 15 years, and you've got Drew Brees, Peyton Manning, Ben Roethlisberger, Tom Brady, all these guys. Those are generational QBs.
Yeah.
So
they're all Hall of Famers.
I can't define generational, but you know it when you see it.
Right. The way I would look at a generational, because you have your guys that are all pro, you have your guys that are going to be Hall of Fame. For me, someone being generational is they're that 1 or 2 guys within any given amount of years that there are 8 Hall of Fame quarterbacks playing right now. 2 of them might be generational. Like they're to me, generational is that level above. Like they're guaranteed into the Hall of Fame, but it's like if the Hall of Fame had a Hall of Fame, like it's like that guy
changing the shape.
So
of
like
sport.
Peyton Manning.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
So right now,
absolutely.
Yeah. Well, he's
So like Ben Roethlisberger is a Hall of Famer,
but he's
not.
generational.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what I mean? I know what you mean.
Yeah.
And I think Lamar
is that where we kind of distinguish between generational? Do you go to like era defining below that? Because I think Ben Roethlisberger helps define an era of the NFL.
Yeah.
I think he's certainly in that category, but maybe not generational talent.
Right. Yeah. I think there's a difference. Like you can be era defining. Like let's say, like Tim Tebow did some things that just for the sport of football were era defining from where he went at Florida, and then maybe changing some positions, beating the Steelers with the Broncos in overtime. Like there are certain things that like guys can be era defining in different ways.
Sure.
Odell Beckham Jr. Like the catches he's able to make, but like he's definitely not a generational receiver.
Right.
He could have been though.
That's the thing. Like there are some of these guys that like they could have been, and that brings me back to like Dylan Raiola. He has that in front of him, like those type of things that he can be, but now he has to get here and do that.
Yep.
Like there's those types of things. It's like there's generational talent, and then there's doing it and being like right now. Patrick Mahomes is that generational quarterback. There's the talent, but we haven't seen like Lamar's won the MVPs. He had to just not implode on Sunday, and then he would have put himself in a position to go, okay, yeah, now he's the dude. Because winning MVPs is great. Like everyone wants to line it up when you do like an MJ and LeBron type of comparison.
Sure.
Like you start, okay, what are the MVPs? MJ didn't need to win a single MVP to be that guy. So MVPs are great, but those are over the course of the season. What are you doing when it comes down time to win a championship?
And that's where it's tricky.
And Lamar's not doing
tricky, though, because Lamar doesn't play defense. Like, Lamar didn't play defense.
The defense didn't throw into triple coverage.
It's true. Yeah.
I know.
I was saying that defense, though, couldn't cover a cough half the game.
But here's the other. I was also going to say Lamar can't, like Giselle.
He did catch his own pass.
Yeah, Giselle in 2015, my husband can't throw and catch the ball at the same time. Lamar did that.
Yeah.
So Giselle, maybe take a break.
Heinrich Harbaugh did that this year.
Yeah, he did.
So generational?
Is Heinrich Harbaugh generational?
Ultimately, we are trying to decide, is Heinrich Harbaugh a generational talent at the University of Nebraska? I would say yes.
Yeah.
People have been asking.
Swiss Army knife.
But potentially next generational, if you look at, is he still dating Harper Murray?
Yeah.
Potentially, Heinrich Harbaugh is potentially working on next generational Husker. I don't know.
The Matt Rule breeding program.
Yeah.
Go find an athlete.
Okay, we're not quite going full Soviet era.
Yeah, let's not do that.
I didn't say I was doing it.
Oh my God.
Hey, you brought up. Yes, I'm getting away from the Ravens talk. Jesus,
Thank God.
Ugh.
By the way, I want the Bears to keep Justin Fields, trade the number 1 pick, have multiple picks in the top 10, and then try for that first round pick, try to get multiple firsts out of it.
Yeah, that's probably the move.
Okay.
I don't think he's totally the problem.
To that point.
Yeah, no.
No, you can go get a quarterback. Let's say they're a generational talent. Man, they're not doing squat with the Bears team right now.
The O-line,
Poverty.
the wide receiver, poverty franchise.
Put Lamar Jackson there, put Patrick Mahomes there, put prime Tom Brady, Peyton Manning, whatever you want. That Bears team ain't doing anything right now.
7-9, 7-10, whatever.
They can't block.
Who is your dream first pick for the Bears?
Dream first pick? I don't want them to have the first pick.
No. Like the first pick the Bears make.
Dream first pick is they friggin' trade it.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
First pick they make.
So what? So what? Somewhere like
Or a position, maybe.
So if they trade it, they're going to trade down. What are they going to be at? Like 7-8 for their first pick? They'll still be top 10. They got to fix that O-line.
Yeah.
Like they got to fix that O-line. And I think you have a quarterback right now that you can survive with. He's not gonna break anything for you. But what that means is when it comes time to re-up his contract, you're not breaking the bank to keep him. Like, because he's not going to be that guy. But I think he can be a poor man's Josh Allen. Like, I think Justin Fields can do that. Like, he can run the ball a little bit. He can spin it a little. Like, he's never going to go out and just break all the records with what he does. But if you're the Bears right now, you're looking for someone that can be competent. But put all the pieces in there, and then maybe once you have all of those pieces, you go grab someone in free agency. Like, you bring somebody in, because there's a lot of those guys that have started to bounce around the league. We've seen a lot more because some of these franchises go, oh, we've got a Brock Purdy in San Francisco. We don't need these other guys that we brought in. LA starts trading a quarterback. Detroit trades quarterback. Like, those guys start flying all over the place. There will be someone available in free agency.
Kirk Cousins.
Yeah. So shore up the rest of the team. Like, get a lot of these guys in there. Maybe you catch lightning in a pan with Justin Fields, but then maybe you just go and get somebody out of free agency. But also you can get a decent quarterback in the 3rd or 4th round a lot of times.
Yeah.
Brock Purdy was literally the last quarterback, or not the last quarterback, the last pick.
Yeah.
Mystery
And he's going to the Super Bowl.
Like, you can find somebody in draft. You don't need to spend a first rounder on him. Spend it on capital that you're sure you're going to be able to build with.
Marvin Harrison Jr. That's the answer.
He's coming to the Colts. Thank you.
Yeah, right.
To that point, as a Colts fan, can I ask the Bears just for one favor? Stay the hell away from Gardner Minshew.
Okay.
I want him back.
Deal.
I want him back so bad.
Right. Yeah. Well, he's going to have to, because Anthony Richardson's not going to play more than 3 games.
Yeah, okay. Mike's a Jags fan.
Just like Trevor Lawrence.
He's a Trevor Lawrence stan.
Yeah.
Generational quarter.
He loved Blake Bortles, okay?
No.
Leave him alone.
Blake Bortles is actually a really cool guy.
I actually loved Blake Bortles.
Yeah,
that was a
just
dude.
Rip Sigs, baby. Okay, this is a Nebraska podcast.
Well, same thing with the Bears. I loved Cutler.
Yeah,
Cutler's
smoking
ripping stingers. And
Yeah.
What would you do if you were in the NFL? I don't know, ripping cigs, doing construction. That's the coolest answer I've ever heard.
So generational quarterbacks is a topic that we have hit on, and I think we'll continue that. Dylan Raiola. So I just looked today on Rivals. He's listed as the top ranked quarterback.
This is where you're going to go with this.
247.
This is what you're going to do.
Hey, and you just let me know. 247, he was ranked as the second. And on 3, he was the 4th quarterback.
Okay.
Just there's fans out there that are like, oh, let me ask you this, though. If he was still committed to Kirby Smart in Georgia, is he the 4th rated quarterback on 3? A lot of people think conspiracy because he's committed to Nebraska. So let's just bump him down.
So I don't pay enough attention to a lot of the guys that do some of these rankings. Mike Schaefer 24/7, super
love
good
some
friend.
Schaefer.
Yeah, Schaefer's a really good dude.
Yeah.
But like he covers recruiting, so he'd be a lot better at being able to answer something like this.
Could I tell you what his answer was?
Yeah.
So we kind of went through this, like conspiracy or not. He goes, look, guys, Nebraska fans consume like no other fan base. Like, why would these recruiting databases and websites want to bump Raiola down? Wouldn't they want him to be bumped up because we give them all the clicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Schaefer is like, quit with the conspiracy stuff. These sites want Nebraska players to be rated as high as possible.
So I think there's both sides of it, especially when it comes to a player like Raiola, because Husker fans, like, we do consume. Like, this is one thing that in the media I absolutely hate, when it's like, oh, the media wants Husker football to stay bad. Okay, well, do you guys think you're reading my Nebraska loss to Iowa for the 7th time in 8 years game recap? Or are you reading my Nebraska men's basketball upsets #1 Purdue?
Yeah.
Consume, like, Husker fans want to consume, but when there is success, I even did it. I stayed up till midnight like an idiot on a Tuesday night because I wanted to consume what everyone else in the media was putting together, all the content that was getting pushed out on social media. I wanted to consume all of that in a way that if Nebraska lost, like, men's basketball gets blown out at Maryland. Do you know how many stories I read on Saturday after that? Zero.
None.
Zero.
Because I didn't care.
Yeah.
Okay, everyone's going to have a take on what went wrong. Great. I don't care. I can spend my time better. Okay, well, there's already a large difference between I'm going to consume 3 hours worth of content or 0 seconds worth of content. Now, the other side of that, when it's something like a Dylan Raiola, Husker fans are going to consume that no matter where he is. The other thing Husker fans will do, and all of us do it, we're going to hate consume.
Hate click.
Yeah.
Yes. Yep. So if we see something where it's like he was #1 or #2, now he's #4. Why? I want to know the reason. What did he put in here? What's the reasoning behind this? What's the methodology? Now I have to know why. Overall, though, I don't think they're necessarily doing that with that in mind. I think for a lot of those guys, when you're the top 5 quarterbacks in the country coming out, so much of it is a guess. Right.
Sure.
Like, so much of it is guess. So a lot of those guys are interchangeable anywhere. Somewhere they're going to be #1, somewhere they might be #7. Ultimately, right now, where things stand, he's already signed. So whatever he ends up at doesn't ultimately matter as much as what matters is he's here in the spring. How much can he progress in the spring and take over that starting position going into the fall? Like, yeah, it's fun to see there are a lot of Husker fans just playing the victim on social media today.
We love doing that, don't we?
But at the end of the day, like, you already have him. Like, he's already our guy. Yeah. He's already here. Like, why do we need to care whether he's ranked? Whether he's ranked #1 or #6? Especially if he dropped to #4.
Yeah.
Oh my God. #4. We talk about where Lamar Jackson is as a generational talent or a generational quarterback in the NFL. There are 32 starting jobs in the NFL. He's ranked at worst #4 in college football.
It's a lot of teams in college football, right?
Guys, the Big Ten alone is getting close to 32. Right. So if you're #4 in your conference, you're probably doing pretty good. So, like, it's fine. Like there's a lot of times we need to step back from being the victim or think everyone's coming after us here in Nebraska or as Husker fans, and just say we got him. So it doesn't really matter what he's ranked anymore.
Now it's time to actually play football.
Yeah, and I think, like, is it a possibility? Can I be thinking that this is some sort of, like, safe bet when it comes to some of these rankings as well? Like, okay, so one place has him as number 1, right? And the other place has him as number 4. That place that has him at number 4, are they considering the fact that Nebraska hasn't been to a bowl game in 7 years?
Or who might be surrounding him while he's here?
They can go down the road 3 years from now and say, like, yeah, we had him as number 4. Like, if you look at the guy that's at Georgia, yeah, he's won a national championship. You look at the guy that's going to Oregon, he was number 2 quarterback, right? He won a national championship in his time. Like, is it a thing where they can look down the road and say, like, well, On 3 was right? I mean, he was number 4 compared to these other guys that played for the last 4 years.
I don't think so, because I think that would play into the conspiracy of, oh, he signed to Nebraska, now they're going to dock what his ranking is. I think so much of their ranking is based on what he is now.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like, where is this person right now? Because if you were to go through, I think it would change so many of the rankings if you were to ask these guys, rivals On 3, 24/7, if they were to say, hey, don't rank the individual where they are right now. Rank what you think they will be in 4 years.
Right.
And so then it would become, okay, who signed with Alabama? Who signed with Georgia?
Yeah, that makes
who
sense.
signed with Ohio State? Because immediately you're going to take those guys and say, okay, well, if they signed with Ohio State or they signed with Nebraska, well,
with Ohio State.
That guy at Ohio State's probably going to get a lot more accolades. He's going to play in the postseason, like those types of things. Like, let's say Ernest Hausman, he's now playing at Michigan. If out of high school it's between Michigan or Nebraska, well, that might be several spots in the rankings. And think about what happened for him at Michigan versus what Nebraska did in that same season without him.
Right.
Like there's those types of things. So I don't think they try to prognosticate what's going to happen over the course of a career so much as what that player is now.
Makes sense.
So with this On 3 thing, I have something a little bit more egregious regarding Raiola's ranking.
Egregious. I like that word, egregious.
Oh, it is egregious.
Let's
to
go.
me.
Let's go.
You say he's done at QB 4 or 4th ranked QB on 3. On 3 at 1 p.m. or approximately 1 p.m. today dropped an updated top 300.
Right.
Dylan Raiola is ranked as the 71st recruit on that list, with both Carter Nelson and Grant Bricks above him. Above him. So I found that very interesting that, like, we're all around the country, we're calling this kid one of the highest touted recruits in this class. And On 3 has him at number 71.
And behind 2 people that are in your class.
Yeah.
Which is odd.
Yeah. I just found that very interesting to see him at 71.
Well, and it's like, how many football games has he played since you did your last ranking? You know,
Yeah.
like he played in the Poly Bowl.
Yeah, that was
That's it.
Yeah.
And here's the thing. Didn't look like he was necessarily bad.
No,
Yeah.
he's like 7 of 15,
Yeah.
but
I think
I tested.
He was the leading passer, and Carter Nelson was the leading receiver.
yes, and you have Mike Zimmer calling the plays. You're automatically set up for failure. It's
Not Mark
ridiculous.
Whipple.
Yeah, I believe he dropped
Whip
like
would have had those boys.
He would have whipped them into shape, I tell you.
Yeah, I believe Dylan Raiola dropped like 65 spots on that list.
Okay.
Again,
We love it, don't we?
Yeah.
He's in Lincoln.
Yeah,
That's
all that
what I
matters.
care about.
I hope he plays like the ESPN rating. That'd be pretty cool.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Number one.
Okay, well, we're at a little over 30 minutes, and I'm out of beer. So
Holy
I say we take a break.
Yeah, let's take a
me
quick
too.
break, and we'll
man.
be right back.
how would you say your mental focus is?
Oh, it's focused. I haven't.
How would you?
We have the saying, no block, no rock.
Thanks, Troy. Kyle, how would you say your mental focus is?
Not great.
That's the Mixmaster Kyle.
Yeah.
I'm going off script. I keep getting shit for this because I have not shown this off yet. It's a new Herbie.
Oh, I honest to God thought you were going to take your shirt off for a second.
I was kind of hoping.
No.
I was like, what chest tattoo did you get?
Mike's going to have to get the chest tattoo.
Yeah.
No,
after we get 1,000 subscribers on YouTube.
Yeah, 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We all get tattoos.
It keeps evolving.
How far away are we?
We have 350.
Yeah, we're like 700 away.
Once we get to 1,000, how far away are we? 990.
We are not that close. But yeah, we're all getting tattoos. Mike's getting his either on his neck or his chest, I believe.
That's
what he
Straight
said.
SoundCloud rapper style.
Kyle's absolutely getting a tear, right?
Yeah, I have to.
For each subscriber after 1,000.
He's like, hear that mix? Killed it.
Killed it. Teardrop.
I feel gross for laughing at that.
Do you guys have these prison games?
Yeah.
Have any of you guys been arrested? No. Have any of you guys, like, what tattoos do you guys have? Does anyone
I have zero. That's why this thing keeps evolving. They're like, Mike's getting a tattoo if we get to 1,000 subscribers.
Get a tattoo.
I never agreed to this.
Yeah, you did.
Get a tattoo. No, like not even this associated. Just get a tattoo.
I don't really have anything I want to put on my body the rest of my life.
Your daughter's names.
Oh.
And names
what if
names
they're
are cliche.
Yeah.
Of course it is.
Yeah.
But what else would he get?
Their face.
That's what I'm saying. What do,
Like
N?
Yeah, you can get a Husker N.
no, that's
Yeah.
stupid.
Get the no block, no rock.
Yeah.
We said
The NBNR.
Yeah, that's a 1,000 subscribers. I keep saying that,
No, but just get that because you want that.
but I don't want it.
Let these dudes pay for it.
They're not
and
going
you
to.
get
No, Mike's paying for ours.
as long as I well, when we hit 1,000, I think we're all going to get one.
Yeah.
Sure.
Do you guys have one? Do you
I
have
do,
tattoos?
yeah.
I'm gonna get a
I do not.
custom.
What tattoos do you have?
So right now I only have one. I have another one coming, but I have a tattoo 2 years ago. I work with Toys for Tots a lot.
Mhm.
And we all agreed that if we broke the state record for most money raised in a day, that me and these 3 Marines would all get the same tattoo.
Phenomenal.
And we did.
That's awesome.
We shattered the record. So we all have the Toys for Tots train on our leg.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I don't, but KB does.
I've got half sleeve, 2 on my chest, 1 on my back shoulder.
What's on the half sleeve?
It's all like military related.
Okay.
Yeah.
Great.
Yeah. It's just like a big collage. I've had a lot of family members and stuff serve, and then I served as well. So I figured I'd get a little tribute for everybody.
No, that's cool. That's very cool.
Yeah. Hey, Josh, one of our loyal listeners did say, he said, I would get a tattoo. You guys pick it. And I said, MBNR tattoo.
Yeah.
Someone's got to do it.
Wait, what do you mean
We
guys
are
pick
gonna
it? Like,
do it.
He knew what that answer was going to be, right?
Yeah.
Also, Mike, we are going to do it. We're also getting the MBNR.
We're in
We
this
have to have
together.
1,000 subscribers. We have
Okay.
Break
but-
out into song High School Musical. We're all in this together.
Hey, Mike, I don't know what your big deal with like just getting a small tattoo. You're like, I don't know if I want it on my
He's a
body for the
baby.
rest of my life. You're not some like Greek god they're making a statue out of you. Like,
Hey,
it's a big decision, all right?
no, it's not.
It's on him forever.
So here's the thing. So this was the first one I got on my wrist. It's a minimalist fall 7 times stand up 8.
Yeah. What does that mean?
It's a kind of continue to
fight
fight through adversity.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter
Do
how
you
many
remember
times.
the Dwayne Wade commercials, the fall 7 times stand up 8? Look up those YouTube commercials. That's one of the best campaigns that any NBA player has done.
Yeah.
Like those were so good. So
You Rocky,
you have a
right?
Dwayne Wade tattoo.
doesn't matter how many times you get knocked down. Stand back up.
yeah. So false. I've got
Dwayne Wade tat.
I've got a bar on my arm. And when I was coaching at Kearney Catholic, the high school kids saw it and they're like, "Hey, why did you get that?" And I go, "Because I had money."
Yeah, awesome.
Like, and I wanted it. Like that's why I got it. Like, so that's the thing. So like, not all of them have to mean something.
Yeah.
So I was like, I wanted an arm bar. And so like I got it on my forearm, and then on my back, on my shoulder. So my daughter's name is Millie. Well, her name's Amelia Rose. So we call her. I call her my Millie Moose.
So you got a Lil Wayne tattoo.
Yes. No.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. We do go. Amelie. She'll dance. Like she's done that like since she was little. That's how we got her to dance and smile for pictures. We'd sing Amelie. But so I've got it's a rose. It's watercolor rose with like moose antlers coming out of it.
That's cool.
So
that's creative.
But like, don't do watercolor for your first one.
Yeah,
I will just tell you right now.
Mike,
like I was like, oh yeah, I've got some black ones. Let's do this watercolor. It's for my daughter. It's gonna be great. And then I was like, this hurts.
You didn't.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't want a tattoo though. I don't really like.
You can get numbing cream.
Or
numbing cream.
Neither do I. But I was like, the adrenaline's wore off.
Yeah.
Can I go home now?
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, that's just the first time through. I was like, okay.
Did you do it in sessions?
No, just one session.
How long was it?
It's decent. Like it's like that big on my back.
How long was the session?
3.5, 4 hours.
Oof.
Yeah, I did my.
We should have had this interview with Caleb's shirt off, so you got to show off all his tattoos.
Do you want my shirt off?
No.
like is that a thing? Why do you think I told him? I was like, I think you're going to take your shirt off. I want to take my shirt off.
He didn't want to feel alone.
Hey, we are MBNR rated.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. I got it.
Here we go.
Speaking of adrenaline wearing off,
Oh no.
Oh, I don't like this.
Nebraska ball on the road. Here's the thing, guys. They lose to Maryland. Doesn't matter.
Of course.
The score doesn't matter because they got their shit rocked.
They should have started subbing dudes out way earlier.
Yes.
Like get rink masked off the floor. Get those old YMCA knees on the bench.
Yeah.
Put some ice on those things.
Prep him for Wisconsin.
Listen, there's a lot of talk about the road woes. And like, there's a part of me that's like, maybe it's just not that. They're not that bad on the road, right? Because they beat Kansas State. They beat them pretty good on the road. Turns out that win's not looking very great either because Kansas State's losing to people by a lot.
It looked good for a while.
Yeah. They were up 12-2.
It looked good as soon as or as recently as like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
They were up 12-2. And this is similar to when they went to Minnesota. They had the best first half of the year against Minnesota on the road.
And then they lost.
Just utter implode. Like, is it fatigue? It's the other team shoots very well.
Yeah.
But
always.
At what point do you say the team's lucky? They're making everything. To no, every team does this to them on the road. There's something about their defense that's not working.
If you look at it in the league, this was a graphic that I saw in the last few days. And it's got to be like the top 8 games for Big Ten teams where 3-pointers made. Almost every one of them involves Nebraska. So obviously, a few of them are Nebraska in the number of threes that they've hit. But then it's like all the others are the team who has hit threes against Nebraska.
Right.
And almost all of those are on the road. I didn't get time to do this earlier today, but I talked with Schaefer on my radio show this morning. And I said, one of the things I would be interested in, what is Nebraska's point differential in the Big Ten, the first 10 minutes of each half compared to the last 10 minutes of each half? Because think about that. Like they're not necessarily terrible to start a lot of these games or coming out in the second half. And even the games that they've won, guys, they can't hit anything
right
at the end of the first half or the second half. They go on these weird scoring droughts where it's like, can you guys not play 20 minutes, let alone 40? So that would be really intriguing to see. Is it just a conditioning thing? Is it endurance? Like, because this team is supposed to have more depth than we've seen. Like they're throwing a lot of dudes out there.
You know what sucks is they have these road woes with the most experienced team that I can remember. Right? I mean,
under Hoiberg for sure.
Yeah. And so it's like you would hope that they have all these experienced guys. Why is this an issue? I mean, you're getting killed on the boards. Go on.
I think it comes down to it's a discussion we had last week with JP. Shout out, great episode.
Fantastic dude, by the way. One of the best
JP
dudes.
He's lovely.
Even, so in Lincoln, he works at my competitor.
Yeah.
One of the best dudes you'll ever meet.
He's so cool.
JP is
I love that guy.
a joy.
World class.
Yeah.
Yes.
And every
just
and every interview. Yeah.
Got you. Got him. No. Love you, JP.
No, but we talked about last week about mental toughness. And I asked him on a scale of 1 to 10, where do you rate this team? He said at home they're a 9. On the road at best they're a 6. And I think it comes down to that mental toughness. I think they're not playing in quiet arenas. I mean, these people are excited. Every time that a struggling Big Ten team sees we've got Nebraska at home, that crowd's going to get loud. They've seen it.
I got to point to the Iowa game.
Nobody was
There's
there.
nobody there.
Yeah.
And like, you got to make your own energy,
So,
and they just couldn't.
I think it's this thing where they are so comfortable at home that the second they go out of their comfort zone, they just kind of get into their own heads. And the second something goes wrong, they dwell on it and things start to get worse and worse and worse. I feel like that's what you're talking about. Maybe. The first 10 minutes of these halves, Nebraska's looking like a real basketball team.
Mm-hmm.
And then as time goes on, it just starts to degrade, and rapidly so.
I think it's adjustments, though. Like, I just think that a team like Iowa's a perfect example, right? We were shredding them, and then they switched to a zone, and they just demolished us in the second half.
Like they came back from a significant lead, and then you could probably come to a conclusion like they came back from this lead, they worked all the way back, and now they're just gassed.
Yep.
There's nothing left.
Well, here's the thing with either of those, whether it's adjustments or being gassed. What Nebraska doesn't have is just one dude that says, "I'm gonna go get mine."
Yeah. No
like
dogs.
they don't have that. And one of the issues, think 2 years ago when you had at point guard, you had Alonzo Verge.
Mm-hmm.
Alonzo Verge against Colorado in that exhibition game.
Yeah.
If you could have had him over the course of the season, you just didn't, because then he would go into, I'm going to be really weird and force some shots here and dribble into a pile, whatever it was. But there were times that you saw Alonzo Verge say, "I'm gonna go get mine."
Yeah.
And you saw with Sam Griesel last year. Yeah, he's a 6'7" point guard where things aren't going right for this team. He says, we're going to get a switch out here if I had a bigger guy guarding me, and we're just going to back a guy down. I'm going to get a shot up in the paint, and if I don't make it, we've got one other guy in here, but I'm probably going to try to grab a rebound or get fouled. Like, you had guys that were going to say, I'm going to get into the paint and either get us a bucket or get fouled and force them to start to go, okay, are they regrouping? Now we're going to have to counterpunch what they just did. Nebraska doesn't have that guy. Casey can't do that.
But Rank does that, but just he's so inconsistent at doing that. Rank, there's moments where he looks like he's Dirk Nowitzki, and there's moments where he literally looks like a JV guy that is just really tall. Like,
right. But yeah. Well, and the thing like for him and Josiah is like they don't really block out.
No,
like they're tall.
Clearly, dude, they get freaking killed on the boards.
They're the person who blocks out the best on that team is Sam Hoiberg.
Well,
Sam Hoiberg blocks out.
That doesn't surprise me.
But here's the problem. He's 6 foot and not near as athletic as everyone he's going up against, and that's not a knock on him. I said on my radio show this morning, he's more athletic, I believe, than what I was, and I was no schlub as a Division I athlete myself. So like he's a dude, but he's going up against dudes.
Yeah.
And like so he can block out, but if he's the only one doing it for 25 minutes a game, which is a lot of minutes to give a guy like that in this league.
Mm-hmm.
And so when you have him being the only guy doing that, Juwan Gary is your most athletic guy, and he's out right now. Who's going to step up and go play fundamental where they have to block out? But still, even when they do that, they don't have someone on offense. Like even Juwan Gary, like no one is that guy. CJ Wilcher is going to pull up and knock down some threes. But when the going gets tough, who's going to be that guy that says, "Get the ball in my hand, I'll just go create space and get a shot"?
Yeah.
Nebraska doesn't have that guy.
Yeah. I think Nebraska has all the pieces. Unfortunately, they're all from different puzzles. So they just don't really fit together like we need them.
I think we could have said that in the past.
So I don't know that they're all from different puzzles. I think there's, and I don't know if Aaron Eulis would have done this, but Nebraska really needs.
You want to bet on it?
Stop that! You stop that right now,
sir.
It's not funny,
sir.
He's
why are you leaking air?
Yeah,
when you
what
make a joke?
was that a laugh or was that like? Are you okay?
Like, do you have helium next to your microphone? I made a joke.
Hey, he thinks his
it's
jokes.
Still happening.
He thinks his jokes are really, really funny.
Jesus,
let him think they're funny.
I thought it was funny.
That's phenomenal. Whatever that noise was, you should patent that, trademark, and sell it.
If this team wasn't on the damn bubble, then it would be funny.
Well,
but they're on the damn bubble.
Well, he made it sound like when a bubble's letting go all the air, whatever that noise is supposed to be. But I don't know necessarily if Aaron Eulis, like they had a true point guard, what that would change for this team. Someone who can really break down a defense and separate and get those guys their shot. Yes, we see it sometimes where Casey like gets a step back. But even then, think about the number of threes that Casey has hit where he has not had space. Like that dude is in his face.
Yeah.
He just hits a stupid shot. That cannot be your, someone's got to go get a shot. Give it to Casey. Well, it's a 6'5" guy guarding him.
Yep.
And he's not really going to get space and he's going to take a 30-footer.
Well, there's not like an element of surprise there. Everybody knows what he's getting ready to do.
Yeah.
Every time.
Exactly. And then the other thing that this
still hits it, maybe.
the other thing that this team doesn't really have is they don't really have a really, really good two-man game. A really, really good pick and roll that maybe you saw with Greasel and Derek Walker.
Yeah, that was
and a lot of times when you were running that, think about how often you were getting a Casey backdoor.
Mm-hmm.
Like there were all these things that were able to happen away from the ball because you were able to do these things with the team last year that this team just doesn't have.
Oh boy.
Yeah. What did you say?
Oh boy, hit it. Well, yeah, that too. That's the sound. Never mind.
Here we go.
Okay.
Normally, I prefer backdoor. I knew it was coming. The second he said backdoor, I like glanced around the table. Like maybe they missed it.
I cannot stop. Like anytime you laugh right now, like I have to
Listen,
stare
it's
like
obnoxious.
at your microphone
It's obnoxious.
to hear the air escaping your body.
Yeah, it's not like he's laughing. The air is literally just escaping.
It's like at some point between the air going from here to here, it forgot to like make noise.
Yeah.
It
doesn't know what to do.
It just goes, and I'm
See? Quit making him laugh for fuck's sake. Well, okay, so when we last recorded, we're talking about the road loss at Maryland.
Mm-hmm.
We're completely not talking about ranked mask freaking coming out party against Ohio State at home,
which was phenomenal to watch.
He's hitting every fucking shot.
That
at
was
him.
so fun.
34?
34,
Yeah.
34, and he really didn't do anything over the last 5-6 minutes. He took an extended break on the bench. He came out for a couple minutes, and then he he grabbed his rebound to get the double-double. PBA obviously applauded that because everyone's watching that number. You're like, when he gets that's our guy. He got his double-double. But then he goes back to the bench. We started to look up, and I was like, wait a minute, I was at that game, the Teddy Allen 41-point game.
Yeah.
But I remember they lost that game when he
Mm-hmm.
scored 41. Like he did everything and they lost. And I remember the soundbite he got asked, hey, you tied the record for a Nebraska basketball player in a home game with 41 points. And he goes, yeah, but we lost.
Yeah, but we lost. Yeah.
And I was like, you know what? For everything Theodore F. Allen ever got for like just some of the bad shots and this and that dude cared about winning.
Yeah.
And it was, he went and got his, but he was like, yeah, but we lost. Like he could have scored 70 and he'd have been like, yeah, but we lost.
Yeah.
And like I think there's some of that missing a little bit with some of these guys on the road where, and it's not necessarily that they're going to be like, okay, I played really good. Let's say Casey scores 24 points. I don't think he's necessarily going to be like, I'm upset that I couldn't help my team win. I just don't think enough guys on the team hate to lose as much as they just don't like to lose. They feel really good, comfortable at home, like you were saying. They get out of their comfort zone. I don't think they just hate it when they go on the road and say, I don't want that feeling again. I don't know how they get to that point to where it drives them crazy, these losses on the road.
Well, I think that reflects in what we watch. It's lackluster. And look, I hate to go there questioning effort because I feel like that's the last thing that you should
not just Alec.
As a fan, yeah.
Yeah, that's the last thing that you would ever want to question. Does that player have heart? Does that player care? Like you're tapping into something that
you have no idea what you're talking about.
It's something that's not measurable.
Yeah.
But at the same time, again, go to the eye test. It's like
rebounding is a good example, though.
Yes, I mean that's
like rebounding is 90% just want.
Yeah,
I mean that's Sam Hoiberg blocking out 25.
That's what I'm saying. Like, so you kind of can.
Yeah, That's what I'm saying.
Watch them play.
I think it reflects in the lackadaisical kind of nature of these games where we lost by 20. What was it? Almost 30 points. Oh,
yeah.
Jesus. You cannot. Maryland's not that good.
They did beat Iowa.
I don't give a. They're not that good. And I'm not saying Nebraska's like, whoa. He was waiting.
But no,
come on. Maryland is not almost 30 points better than you. No. I don't care where you're. No. And look, Juwan Gary.
He better play Thursday.
You saw. Look,
he won't.
Come on.
No, I'm just telling you guys. I don't think he will. I would expect him at best mid-February.
You know what was hilarious was like they asked Fred. They're like, "Hey, is Juwan gonna play?" And he says, "No, he's day to day, but he's not playing this weekend." Well, then how do you know?
Yeah,
right.
You said day to day. Yeah, it doesn't sound like day to day.
Maybe in the vault is not going to be a problem because they won the last 2 games without him in the damn vault. But they lost at Rutgers when he came out. The team freaking just imploded without him. And then they go to Maryland and give that showing. So maybe at the vault, it won't be a problem, even though you're playing top 6 ranked Wisconsin.
Yeah, they're single digit ranked now.
Yeah.
I'll be on
today.
Court storming, baby.
I'll be on the floor.
Beat number 1. Doesn't matter what the rest were. Remember? Can be ranked number 1 or number 4. Doesn't matter. Got them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
I just feel like Juwan Gary adds that extra oomph.
He's the best. He's the best player on the team.
He has an extra oomph that they need on the road.
He's the best player on the team, especially when you look at defensively and other teams start to like really start doing things. And he doesn't lead. He's not going to go grab 22 rebounds or anything like that, but he's going to do enough, and he's going to get a body into guys. He's going to make someone think twice about a shot while he's out there defending. He's not going to be perfect. There are plenty of times I've seen him be atrocious on defense. Like he didn't know where he was. Like early on in the year when he was coming off the bench, there were a couple of times where I was like, where is he going? Why is he just running in circles?
You don't know.
But like that just happens sometimes to guys. So like he's not perfect, but he's enough that if he doesn't get hurt, Nebraska wins that Rutgers game.
Yeah.
If he's out there, who knows if things don't start to snowball at Maryland. And then you start going, okay, that's 2 road wins.
Mm-hmm.
There aren't a lot of teams in the Big Ten rocking multiple road wins.
I think there's only one Big Ten team that has a winning road record, I believe.
It's Purdue.
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm shocked.
Of course.
Yeah.
Hey, do you guys remember when they lost? I do.
Zach Edey.
I was wrong about.
Dude,
remember when I said I can't wait for the Zach Edey Clifford matchup?
Yeah.
Because Clifford was strong.
Yeah.
Zach Edey went for 26 and 12. And Clifford went for 11 and 6.
Whoops! But think about that. Like what Zach Edey has done in this league, especially after Rink Mast dominated him.
Bruh.
Like he has torn everyone apart. And then you look at that and go, "Well, Rink, you did that to him.
I know.
And you had this game against Ohio State. Like, why can't you find something that's just consistent where you're stopping somebody's big man a little bit and
JV?
Where can we find some of that middle ground on just like where some of this production is?
Why does that have to be so
hot and cold?
Right.
Just steady Eddie.
Yeah.
That's what we need.
Okay. New Iowa Hawkeye offensive coordinator, Tim Lester.
That was so funny.
Why do you laugh? Why do you laugh? Why is that the first instinct that you have?
They would have been better off keeping Brian Ferentz.
Yeah.
They wasted. Think about how long this process took. That's the other part that's hilarious about this. Like if this would have been, let's say a week ago, they said, all right, we've decided we're going to make a move. It's not necessarily the time that we wanted to, but we decided we're going to make a move now. Or even, I guess, when the season ended a month ago.
Right.
So okay, we've gone through all this. This is the guy we really like. And if they just straight up came out and said, we like the philosophy he does with some guys. And we really like some of the concepts he does. We think it's gonna work well for what we want to do. But also, Brian Ferentz did those concepts and those things that you wanted to do, and it just looked like garbage anyway.
Yeah.
Like, this dude wasn't doing anything at a lower level.
Right.
And was about to go interview for analyst positions. And you bring him in, like, what is Kirk doing? There are so many options out there to go do things. One of the suggestions I saw for what Iowa should do is they should fully commit to like the under center triple option.
Yeah, I saw that.
Because their defense is still going to be their defense.
Mhm.
And if you commit to that, and their offensive line has been pretty good.
Yeah.
But if you fully commit to that, you already know you're not going to be throwing the ball all over the place. Your team didn't do that anyway.
Mhm.
You haven't had a 800-yard receiver in a decade.
Marvin McNutt, maybe.
Yeah, something like that. If I'm remembering the graphic right, but like they already weren't doing so many of these things while trying to kind of throw the ball a little bit, but be a little bit run heavy. Like if they fully committed to the triple option, think about the Big Ten, where 1 week everyone now has to start going, oh crap, we have to face that.
Yeah.
Kaleb.
And then the defense actually gets rest.
Kaleb.
Yeah.
Kaleb,
right.
I can't listen.
And you have your all-pro punters every time back there in
Yeah.
case things like
Kaleb.
I'm sorry, Iowa's still going to get 10 wins a year if they do that.
Kaleb. Kaleb, here's the thing, dude.
What, we don't want to help them out?
No, just if they went triple option,
He wants that so bad.
No, yeah, he wants it. So
would they
bad.
be my favorite team?
You shut your mouth.
Oh my
You shut your mouth.
No block, no hawk.
Yeah.
Oh no.
So
If they went triple option, I might like them.
after
There's no divisions. You can like who you want.
Yeah, they're not in the West anymore. Go triple option, please.
Jared, don't forget about your New Year's resolution.
yeah,
I know. But if they go triple option,
This got to be like one of two things. It's either Kirk just saying "fuck you,"
give me a buyout.
Yeah.
you, Beth.
yeah, like
Oh,
you
man.
made me fire my son. Now I'm gonna go find somebody that's just as bad. Or two, everybody looked at Iowa and went, "No thanks."
Does he have a 25 points per game? Like
Yeah, you
like-
might as well
like-
add that.
Like,
yeah.
does he have that in his contract too?
I think that's just in Kurt's contract now. It's
Yeah,
like,
it has to
if
be.
the offense doesn't do this now, you're gone. So
I fully expected. I thought Kirk was going to walk away.
I did too.
The way you really started to see him be emotional, and then after the Nebraska game, especially, where like that's the last regular season game, and you saw a lot of really emotional Kirk Ferentz.
Of course they won.
I thought he was going to hang it up after the bowl game, and then he didn't. And it's like, all right, so what are you going to do?
Right.
And then this is your decision after months of seeing what's out there for an offensive coordinator.
I love it.
Like some of that is there old school stubbornness coming out for Kirk, or is there actually any plan going forward trying to adapt to college football with what it's going to be 2024 and beyond?
Kirk is never going to be the NIL coach.
No.
He will never be that. And that is where college football is and is heading even more so. Kirk is never going to be that, ever.
So, do you want to hear a hot take?
The hottest, please.
Yeah. With the hire of Tim Lester,
head coach in waiting.
Iowa is a QB, 2, maybe 3 receivers,
Jesus.
a running back,
Couple
and
offensive
an
linemen.
offensive coordinator away from success.
Success. They won 10 games last year.
I know.
No, yeah, but I'm talking real success, not this. Yeah, our defense held them to 7
Listen,
points, and our punter had 45,000 yards worth of punting.
yeah.
Like,
I mean, your point, like, there's a part of me that's like, does this even matter? Because I'm going to use a 3-6 Mafia reference. Who run it? And that's King Kirk.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got these offensive coordinators out there. That probably lessens your pool of candidates by a lot. Because if you're an OC out there, I'm just going to run regardless of whatever I do.
Exactly.
Triple option, air raid, whatever. What does Kirk want to do? Well,
Right.
that's probably what I'm going to do. And I've even read the stats, like the things that he did at Western Michigan, Tim Lester, kind of contradicts what Kirk does.
Spread.
Yeah,
But
with the
it's
tight
kind of like
ends.
it's kind of like, hey, I'm gonna pay you $1 million a year just to come stand in front of the media and answer to things that I know you're
That
not
I don't
doing.
want it.
But
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
I just need a spokesperson to pretend like I have an offensive coordinator.
But the
Dude,
AD,
I'll do
the AD can be hands on with that. Like we got to understand that. Think about when our boy Whipple came in.
Yeah.
Like where it was, hey, Scott.
Hey,
I remember.
I'm glad you remembered.
This is the guy.
Yeah.
But when he was told, all right, you're taking some reins away from the offense. Like you're not doing the play calling. And then like I know Mickey took over and they started to kind of like mix some offensive styles and all of that. But a lot of it was stepping away from like Scott Frost and what he wanted for that offense.
Yeah.
Like those types of things. So an AD can step in and be like, hey, Kirk, we can all see what's happening with this offense. We need you. It doesn't necessarily have to be West Coast, 5 wide, whatever, but we're going to help you select an offensive coordinator. Ultimately, we'll let you make that decision, but we're going to help you get down to a final 5 or a final 3.
Yeah, and I think it's so funny, too, if that is the scenario, you're like, okay, we got rid of Brian. Whew. Feel good about that.
Right.
Okay. Kirk. Tim Lester. And everybody's like, woo!
Imagine the players in the locker room.
Dude, I know.
Do you think that athletic department was just like, motherfucker?
All of the Iowa fans hate it.
Yeah.
Like everyone that I've
seen,
seen, they're like, why didn't we just keep Brian?
Right.
Yeah. Well, that's why we love it.
Why I have a shirt.
At the very least, we can be like, whatever, nepotism. We have something to complain about. Now it's like, does he want to have an offense? Like what like now it's just, does he want to have an offense or is he just sticking it to the athletic director?
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
It has to be.
Well, you were talking about how, Frost. Hey, shit. Yeah, we didn't bleep shit.
What is hilarious out of all that is you said the F-er word and then you go shit and then it beeps and I'm like, I don't know what exactly is supposed to be bleeped.
Oh, you know.
The shit is fine.
Yeah, we don't bleep shit.
Fuck the shit. I think those are two very different circumstances. Like King Kirk, he is the longest tenured coach in college football, 25 plus years, whereas Scott has zero pull whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
If you're any AD, whether you're Beth Getz or you're Trev Alberts or
Bill Moose,
you could go up to Scott F and go, do what I said, dude. Chill.
You're
right.
killing,
Whereas with Kirk, like you could at least Kirk could still say,
I won't take it.
10 wins, even despite the shitty offense. 10 wins.
Yeah, right.
So shut up.
Right, but you can say, okay, do you want those? Especially now that there's no divisions, do you want those 10 wins against, for the most part, like you're just handed one by Nebraska. And then the rest of the division where it's like there'll be a couple teams get to 8 wins and then a bunch of others get to 4 or 5. Like it was a garbage division. Like we all know that. That's not
of
a
all
hot
time.
take.
Of all time.
I will point out Big Ten West basketball running the conference.
It's so weird.
Yeah.
So weird to see the way that works.
We're getting the last laugh. That's what matters.
Well, and I mean, to be fair,
as long as he's not the one laughing.
Yeah. To be
Why would you do that?
Damn it. I said as long as he's not the one laughing. Like I was trying to do the other thing.
Our microphones are going to get fucked.
To be fair, I mean, Iowa, despite 10 wins in the regular season, they are still the laughing stock just because of that offense.
Yeah. That's the thing is what do they really want?
Lester.
And here's the thing. I know that like it gets a lot of hate for the quote, but when you go through and you look at where Iowa is, like that's a thing that they need to do for themselves is, are you comfortable saying 9-10 wins? Hey, stamp it. There were some garbage teams in there, but that's what we got to. We got to 9-10 wins, and there's no divisions anymore, so that's not necessarily going to guarantee that you're in that conference championship game.
Yeah.
Also, that 9-10 wins is going to be tougher because of going across and playing multiple other teams instead of just playing the Big Ten West, where you can just run for 120 yards and have a total offense of 170 and play the punt field position game.
Right. And you wait for the other team to turn it over 5 times, you'll be fine.
That's just not a thing that's going to necessarily exist anymore because the division is not going to allow that because it doesn't exist anymore. So I think as an athletic director, they could have stepped in and said, hey, we're looking at the future. We love what you've done for the past 20 plus years. Love 10 wins. Love multiple times that you've been able to do this.
Mm-hmm.
But we're looking this direction. You're looking that direction.
Yeah. What is the next step? There is in hindsight, we hate it now, but there is a reason why colleges are getting rid of 8-9 win coaches. They go year after year after year after year, 8, 9, 8, 9. There's no next step. Like it just doesn't seem to get anything any better than that.
That's the
and Iowa
argument.
has just lived in that.
Here's where that next step is. Here's what you're going to see. This is what colleges want, and this is obviously what Nebraska's going to want. Conference championship appearances, consistently.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be every single year, but if you're there every 2, every 3 years, cool. Like you're there. And if you're in that conversation, you're in the playoff.
Yep.
So are you in the playoff or are you just missing the playoff? Because that's what it's going to take. So like for Iowa, cool. They would have been in the playoff this year. And now that feels like a better year, right?
Yeah.
Like it's okay.
And they wouldn't have scored a point, by the way.
Right. Yeah. So it feels better if you're in the playoff. Like, are you in that top 12, potentially a top 16?
Yeah.
Like, is that where your team is? So you get to 8, 9 wins. How far are you from the playoff? And I think for Iowa, if they're looking long term, and obviously this is going to affect Nebraska because you're still going to see them every year.
Mm-hmm.
Can they put together an offense? Because if Iowa ever figures out that they can actually field an offense, that's a dangerous team. That's a dangerous program.
Hell yeah.
Until they do that, they've already set themselves a ceiling to not actually win a conference championship and to find themselves on the very bottom, if not out of the college football playoff.
It's been a 15-year ceiling for Kirk Ferentz.
Yeah. So you mentioned, the elimination of divisions, which is obviously a big thing with the Big Ten.
Glad to break that news for you.
Yeah, thank you. But with the addition of teams like Washington, Oregon, USC, UCLA, do you see the Big Ten getting more top-heavy or a little bit more evenly spread as teams, especially in the Big Ten West, start to face tougher competitors? Do you see kind of getting what we look at, frankly, it was the Big Ten East and most of the SEC, very top heavy, or do you see some of these teams getting wins that maybe they're not supposed to? Like, how do you see that kind of
There'll definitely be an adjustment period because for those teams Washington just played a national championship. What does Washington look like when they play Iowa, though? Like, how ugly does that game have to be?
Well, and what does Washington look like after a year like this? We saw what TCU looked like after a year like that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and
not great,
and their coach
and lost their coach.
Yeah.
So there are a lot of things that you're going to have to see. Those 4 teams coming in, they're going to have an adjustment period, just as much as the Big Ten West is going to have an adjustment period where they're not guaranteed all of those games against each other. I think there's also a lot that goes into it with. We're still in the baby stages of how much do we observe what NIL does to the game, because right now for Nebraska, I don't think it played like a giant part in it, but obviously it probably played a little bit with Dylan Raiola and maybe some of these recruits on potentially what NIL does coming in. We see it with some other sports, what it's able to do for volleyball, maybe some basketball. But there's going to be an adjustment period for all of these teams. I think it's going to be easier for someone like USC to see success. I think initially you'll have the haves and the have-nots with where the success has been. But I think some of that'll even itself out because these teams will start to play each other every year. It won't be, well, look at the Big Ten West. That's that's the sickos division of the FBS.
Proud to be that.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Oh, yeah, you got to embrace that now.
And we did. But going forward, you're not just playing each other anymore. You're gonna have a season where you're playing USC and Washington
and garbage
and Ohio State and Penn State, and it's like, well, this is a stupid.
This sucks.
Like this doesn't look fun. And then you're going to be like, oh well, at least we've got Rutgers, and Rutgers is going to be like, well, this is a year that we're going to win 8 games.
Right.
And it's like, okay, well, that wasn't anything easy. And of course, you still have Iowa at the end of the year. Like these are things that are going to happen. Not just for Nebraska, but for the rest of the Big Ten West, even the Big Ten East, where they're used to going, okay, we've got to face these 3 teams that are at the very top, and then we can kind of beat up on each other a little bit, and we'll get a couple of games against the Big Ten West. They no longer really have that either. They're going to get maybe some more against the old Big Ten West teams, but are they able to adjust that? Now they get to play them a little bit more. Does that become more wins for those teams? Like, does Indiana suddenly get more wins if they don't have to play Michigan, Ohio State, and Penn State in the same year?
Right.
That I don't know. But I think initially you'll have the teams kind of where they are. Michigan's good. Ohio State's good. Washington will probably be good. Oregon's good. USC will probably be top half. Like you'll immediately have some of those things. But where do teams kind of start to sort themselves out after 2 years, after 3 years? I don't know about that.
Okay, that's fair. So I think you kind of just answered my next question. Of the 4 recent additions to the Big Ten, I think you've said USC will probably be the most successful right off the bat. Is that fair to say?
I think they've got the most stability right now. Like what I would love for it to be Washington or Oregon, because those just feel like more fun brands than the Pacific Northwest.
Yeah,
like want nothing to do with LA, but you've had Lincoln Riley there for a couple of years. Like they just feel like weirdly USC is the most stable program out of the 4.
I don't
see.
I disagree. I think it's Oregon.
I was an Oregon.
I think it's
guy.
Oregon because
I'm
USC
rocking with
has
Oregon.
no lick of defense, and they are going to struggle getting into the Big Ten. But they're playing Big Ten defenses,
right? But if you're you're Minnesota,
yeah,
and you're down 21,
yeah.
What does it matter what you like?
What your defense does, yeah.
Yeah, but if you're down 21, what is your defense now going to help you with if USC just says, all right, we'll run the ball 3 times, or we'll throw a couple of screen passes and burn some clock, and then we'll punt it to you because we're up 21 and you can't score 21 points.
Right.
Like there's some of that where I think those offenses, especially this year, this is weird that this was the last year of the Pac-12 and it was perhaps their best year overall as a league.
Yeah, right.
And like they were so dynamic offensively and defensively across the league. USC, obviously not so much with their defense, but I think they still have enough on the offensive side that they can be dangerous. Now, does Oregon have a better defense? Yeah. Does Washington still have a better defense? Yeah. I think USC just tried to get in shootouts because they knew what their offense had.
Yeah.
Like they just couldn't stop anybody, but they were going to score 1 million points.
Live by the
We
sword,
have
die by
Caleb
the sword.
Williams. Let's just go.
Yeah. So they did that. So I think there's still going to be times that USC tries to do that. It's so weird that they're like so much the antithesis of Iowa. If they could ever figure out you can field a defense, like what does that look like? If you're mid 2000s USC and you go, oh, you're allowed to have a defense.
Yeah, that's always. I mean, that's been my biggest fear with those guys coming in is just that. Like, you look at the Big Ten West offenses this year. You get down 2 scores, the game's over. 100%. I don't care what their defense looks like. We fail to score. Like we just can't play offense.
Stop them. You can stop them as many times as you want.
Right. But if they get up, you're not catching them.
Right.
And you look at and as we talked a little bit about the NFL, like the 49ers were down 14. And my wife was getting really upset because she's followed all the Taylor Swift stuff. And you've got the fullback for the 49ers, Juszczyk, and his wife has made all of the different
jackets,
designs, things, and made one for Taylor Swift. So she's like, I want to have that Super Bowl meetup. But between the Juszczyks and Taylor Swift. And so I was like, well, they're losing. You might not get that. And she was like, oh, there's still time. There's still time. I was like, yeah, they're down 14 though.
Right.
And Detroit has the ball. And then they go for it on 4th and goal. And I was like, all right, well, they're within a touchdown. And then I go, all right, well, they tied it.
Yeah.
All right, well, they're winning. And she's like, oh, wow, that fast. And I was like, yeah, that fast. Like, I'm surprised too.
Yeah.
And I've been watching football my whole life, not the last 3 months.
Yeah.
You're an NFL team.
Dan Campbell.
Sorry.
I saw that it's not an original analogy. But Dan Campbell hit blackjack and then said, hit me.
Yeah.
Like, dude, take the goddamn points.
Yeah.
But my point with all of that is who in college football has been saying they want a 49ers type offense?
Matt Rule.
Well, a lot of people,
Matt Rule,
but specifically what we've been hearing here is Matt Rule wants that. How often is he sharing images of Christian McCaffrey with the X factor, the way he's holding the football? How often is he talking about the things that the 49ers do well with the Mr. Irrelevant at quarterback? Like you have those types of things happening where so to put that into terms for Nebraska, yeah, there are a lot of times that Nebraska 1 score got down and we all went, I don't know if they can come back, guys.
Game's over.
I don't know if the offense has it today and defense isn't going to stop them, whatever. So I think there's enough in place that you're setting the foundation as we look when these 4 teams come in, what is going to happen for 3 or 4 years down the road. You still have programs like Nebraska that are now only going into year 2 of that coach. Like and you have Washington coming off a national championship, losing their head coach. that's so hard to try to pin. Where are all these programs going to be able to adjust sans divisions even?
Yeah.
And in Michigan now without their head coach, like
without most of their coaching staff.
Yeah. There's so much movement that happens year to year. Some of it's going to be, all right, kind of what has your program been? Who's even around? But a lot of it's going to be in 3 years, Washington might not look anything like Washington. Nebraska might not look anything like Nebraska. How does Michigan handle success, but then their coaching staff leaving? They're like, there are so many other question marks that go into the adjustment for any of these teams in a new league without divisions.
Do you see, because obviously a large portion of that Michigan staff is leaving to go to the Chargers.
Bye.
I don't think that's a shock.
Okay, bye.
No.
Are they seeing something we're not? Are there potential real ramifications coming for that Michigan program that could potentially hamper recruiting and performance down the road?
I think there are, but I also think some of it, look at who Matt Rule who brought with him multiple stops. Like Jim Harbaugh, like he's got a lot of those guys. He's worked with them and he said, I'm going back to the NFL. These are the guys I've worked with. These are the guys that I want to bring with me. And there's so much of that in the coaching profession and in the coaching family. It's a lot more. These are the guys I've worked with, or they've worked with somebody that I like the way they do things. Think about keeping Raiola as the offensive line coach.
Mhm.
It's Matt Rule talked about how much he liked who Raiola had learned from as an offensive line coach, what kind of style he wanted for that offensive line. And I know there was a lot of us that are like, I don't know. That seems like that was that was the worst position group. Why would you keep that coach? And there were the reasons behind that in what Matt Rule wanted from that head coach. So a lot of it becomes, I'm comfortable with this guy for the things that I want to do. So I think so much for what's happening with Michigan, Jim Harbaugh to the Chargers and him bringing some guys with him is so much more about Harbaugh being comfortable and those guys being comfortable with him.
Right. And so I think, but could Michigan be like Rich Rod?
But I do think Michigan is going to get more than just a slap on the wrist coming. Like I do think those things are coming.
Yeah,
but
it's not necessarily the reason why all these guys are bouncing.
Yes, they could probably go, well, I kind of want to test the NFL, and then maybe that's what puts them over the edge. Like they're 95% they want to follow Harbaugh, and they're just going, okay, maybe I've already got a ring here. Yeah, like exactly.
It don't matter.
Like they go, all right, we already won. Like we won the games on the field. Yep. Cheating, not whatever. Like they won the games, and so you add that and then go, well, do I want to be around like when the hammer falls? And then okay, I guess I'll go to the Chargers. Like maybe for a couple of guys that's what puts them over the top. But I think overall, so much more about the coaching profession is where do you want to be and where are you most comfortable. And for a lot of those guys, it's with other coaches that they're comfortable in knowing how they operate, especially when it's the head coach. They're comfortable. This is how the head coach wants things. Because if you go work under a new head coach, think about Tim Lester going to work under Kirk Ferentz. It's, well, he might want to do some things, but Kirk Ferentz has been doing this since the Great Depression.
Yeah.
Like this is how he wants things. I don't care what you did up there in Michigan. Like this is what Kirk Ferentz wants. So I think there's a lot more about being familiar with somebody and being comfortable.
Yeah.
Just real quick, or I'm sorry, yeah.
I was just gonna say, maybe we go around the table, do your Super Bowl predictions, and then we wrap up.
Chiefs 49ers.
Yeah. Can I bet
on
that? Speaking of betting, before we get to that, really quick segment.
Yeah, just real quick. Just hold on.
Yeah.
Normally, I prefer back to.
God damn it.
Perfect.
There you go.
Caleb, before the episode, we were talking a little bit about gambling.
Who was that?
I did it. I was trying to get him to spit take.
That was good.
You're a shithouse, bro. You're a disaster.
But before the episode, we got to talk a little bit about gambling. I believe, the only gambler on the podcast.
You are the backdoor king.
Yes. But I wanted you to share the story because I asked
phrasing.
you.
Are we not doing phrasing anymore?
No.
Oh,
that's
no.
the phrase. Like that's
normally he prefers backdoor.
Respect his. Hey, no interviews. Respect his decision.
We got to share a quick discussion, and I asked you what the most degenerate bet you've ever made was, and it's a fantastic story.
Okay, so for anyone, and like for you guys too, because like you guys, I guess, don't really bet, but you can play around with this because it's a little bit fantasy-ish. So there's this app called Fliff, and you can get some coins, and there's experience, and it'll also give you some dollars. Like, you can figure it all out on there. I can help you guys with it. But ultimately, you can exchange that for real money without you putting any money into it, as long as you cross a certain threshold, or you can get gift cards. Like, so that's physical things you can get from it without having to put money into it.
Mike likes good deals.
Yeah,
But
He does.
But
I'm a sucker for
within all of that, because I work on the morning, like a morning show, I'm up at, my alarm goes off at 3:50 in the morning. So many of that is, all right, what's on? And there's a little bit of like the Australian Open has been on. That's been great. There is this, I describe it as Indian tackle tag.
Okay.
And it's called Kabaddi. And like, look it up. It is phenomenal. And it's played in like India, Pakistan, and I think somewhere else. But like, that's not on Flip. That's phenomenal.
Do you watch it? Oh, you can't bet on it, but yeah, you do watch it.
But we watch it. It comes on at 8 a.m. on weekdays. We pull it up on ESPN Plus. Oh my God, is it phenomenal?
What's it called?
Indian tackle tag.
Kabaddi.
Kabaddi. Okay. Sorry. Maybe we should do like
Kabaddi. Catching Kabaddis over here.
Yeah, it was rivalry week. You guys just missed rivalry week.
We missed the
There's
rivalry.
a rivalry week.
You guys just missed rivalry week. But to get to
How
get
much
to your
money
question,
did you make on Kabaddi?
I've made you can't bet on it. That's not one of on there. But I was going, okay, what's on here? I want to throw together I want to put 50 cents on a parlay. Let me throw 50 cents on a parlay. I was like, well, there's Korean women's basketball.
Do you know the name of the team you bet on?
God, no. I can probably find it.
He's going to become an expert here.
But I was like, I don't know. Let's throw it on them. And then I was like, okay, well, there's Chinese basketball going on too. Let's throw it on the Dragons.
Who's KLIN Clark of the Korean women's basketball team?
Dude, I have no idea. But like when you
Clark.
But when you go and you're like
I don't like that one.
No,
that's getting cut.
What?
No.
What?
No.
You just got everyone canceled.
Oh, did I?
You just got everyone canceled.
Sorry.
No.
Stop.
No.
Sorry.
No.
Not sorry.
But if it's like our show starts at 6 and it's 5:58 and we're like, all right, what's on? F it. All right, 50 cents there. Let's throw a 7-leg parlay between Korean women's basketball, Chinese men's basketball, Australian Open, and the FA Cup is on. All right, let's hope they end in a draw. I don't know.
Yeah.
Did you win?
Yeah.
You won?
That's one that I won.
Oh my Lord.
That's one that I won.
did.
That's actually you're just blind betting.
Blind betting. And that's, again, the app is called Flip, but there's so much of it that I'm like, I know nothing about any of these teams.
You just pick colors.
But I think they can cover the 14.5.
They just look like they can.
It just, from the name that I can absolutely pronounce, they can cover the 14.5. And then I'm looking up at the score and I'm like, why are they losing? Why are these sons of bitches losing? Who's paying you guys?
What's wrong with the Dragons?
So there's only one team named the Dragons in the Chinese Basketball League. Thank you.
Who do they play?
I don't know.
The throwing stars, idiot.
I'm not answering any of these questions. You've already canceled everybody here.
Yeah.
Put
you guys on the map.
But yeah, that's it. There can be some fun ones that pop up like that where you're like, I didn't know Korean women's basketball was a thing. But here's a nickel. Like,
awesome.
I guess let's see what happens with that.
That's so fun.
Wonderful.
All right, Mike, you wanted to get a Super Bowl prediction.
Yeah,
Sorry.
go around the table, say who's going to win the Super Bowl.
Okay.
KB, we'll start with you.
Okay.
Niners.
The chefs. It's going to be unbearable. The chefs.
Taylor Swift.
She's going to win no matter what, win or lose.
Yeah, she wins.
Here's
the better question: does Travis Kelce propose on the field?
No, I heard they're planning their summer engagement. I heard
that would be crazy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Have you guys already done the math on her getting back from Japan? She's performing in Tokyo, like literally the day before.
Nah, she's sending a body double.
Yeah.
Not a thing.
Hologram.
Not a thing.
Yeah.
She got that kind of money.
No, I think I honestly think the 49ers are going to win though. 49ers are going to win the game.
Okay.
I feel gross and I'm going to have to take a shower when I get home after saying this, but I believe the Chiefs will win.
Mahomes gets his third.
Yeah. I feel gross saying that. I respect the Chiefs. I respect every one of the players. I respect the hell out of Andy Reid.
Love Andy Reid.
Yeah,
Sure.
I'm just tired of their fans. That's it. But yeah, I think the Chiefs will win.
If you're tired of the fans,
Mm.
how much crossover though is there between Chiefs and Husker fans?
Yeah, I hate Husker fans too.
We don't win.
No. And what happens when we do?
Yeah.
How unbearable are
my
we
God.
going to be?
It's going to
dude.
be
It'd be awesome.
Caleb, here's the thing. I've been self-loathing since I was like 14. So there's going to be no difference for me.
I'm going to say what I said when someone asked me who was going to win the NFC or AFC Championship game. I said quarterback advantage, experience goes to the Chiefs. So they've done it.
So we've got 3 Chiefs, 2 Niners. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yep.
I don't like it one bit.
I don't like it at all.
But it is.
My prediction is partially just because I want Brock Purdy to win.
Oh, I think everybody in America.
I want him to win.
This is the worst. This is the worst offense the Chiefs have had.
Yeah.
Over their run with Patrick Mahomes,
but their best defense
still found a way. They just find a way.
No. I know they're finding a way.
It's annoying.
But they also had non-generational talent Lamar Jackson show up in the championship.
That seems targeted. That one seems targeted.
You're talking about me canceling it. You're going to cancel yourself by saying
Targeting.
that take right there.
Yeah.
Ugh, bad take.
Yeah, I know. But I think they're still, even with it being Brock Purdy, and if you want to call him a game manager, whatever, there are so many weapons on that offense.
Right.
They have Christian McCaffrey. Like alone,
He's all right.
like alone, like you can stop right there. Like if that was all of your offense, you're okay.
I mean, Poverty Panthers, they were okay.
Can we talk about Christian McCaffrey in Carolina sitting out with paper cuts, and now he's Superman in San Francisco?
Yeah, doesn't play. He barely plays with Matt Rule, his head coach, but now all of a sudden he's just healthy all the damn time, isn't he?
He saw the writing on the wall. He didn't want to die every week.
Right.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want to play there either.
Like, dude, that dude wants to make a bunch of money and win games.
I'm gonna die for David Tepper.
Yeah.
Said no one.
Yeah.
All right, Caleb. Tell the listeners where they can listen to you, where they can find you.
Your
probably
home
like
address.
probably your social tags, not your address. But
Well, you can listen to me on at least 2 episodes of No Block, No Rock.
Boom, bam.
Yeah.
2 of them.
There you go. At least 2 of them. I'm leaving it open for in case in the future that I'm on another one.
Fourth episode, you get a T-shirt.
Oh, phenomenal. When do I get a tattoo?
1,000 YouTube.
You can do that whenever.
Damn it.
Now I'm self-conscious.
He's rubbing off on you.
I know.
I heard that.
It's starting to happen a little bit. There's just the air escaping. You can get me on Twitter at @Kaleb_Henry. It's like iPhone and then Kaleb Henry. And then also I work at KLIN. So if you go to KLIN.com, you can read a lot of what I work on. Also allhuskers.com, Husker Max, all of those places. You can read a lot of what I work on, digest some of my content. But Twitter's probably the best place because it's a little bit unfiltered at times. Also, there's a lot of really fun pictures of my daughter. We watch a lot of Bluey.
Yeah.
Your Twitter is really fun. I'm not going to lie.
Yeah.
I send a lot of your tweets into my group chats. So.
Here's the thing. I actually, I picked up a part-time job recently.
Oh,
and I went, and when I applied, they were like, "Oh, Caleb with a K. Yeah, I follow you on Twitter." I was like, "So do I still get the job?"
It was nice to meet you.
I was like, they were like, "Yeah, you're hilarious." I was like, "Okay, good, yeah, this everything's fine."
Yeah, don't scroll back to 2012.
That's good, Mike. That's good. No. Okay, guys, go to nbnrpodcast.com. We got merch, past episodes, all that jazz. Go to Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. I think that's all.
TikTok.
TikTok, of course, TikTok. Sorry.
Instagram. Did we say that?
YouTube.
I said Instagram.
I don't know. I'm colorblind.
We need
Reels?
1,000 subscribers.
On YouTube.
And Caleb is getting a tattoo with us.
What was that app that was like that Instagram made that was cool for like
Threads.
We're on that.
Yeah,
we're
it was
not
cool
on
for like a week.
Are you guys on like Be Real?
I am.
Are you actually?
Yeah. I never use it. I downloaded it. I used it for a couple months. And
Wow, Be Fake.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Did you have that one ready?
I didn't.
Straight out of the holster.
It's great.
That's why he's the sports director at KLIN.
That's how you backdoor a joke.
That's right.
Oh, don't do it. No, you already did it.
done it.
Yeah. It's limited to 2 drops an episode.
No, only 2 backdoors.
But we have like a tab because we haven't used it in so many episodes. We could probably hit it like 10 more times.
We've got a line credit
Yeah.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
It had. I thought we were over it.
Never.
You might have to lube the button if you want to use it enough.
Lube
Yeah, usually
the button.
No,
the old back door. The old back door loop button.
Oh no.
All right, let's
We gotta go.
And you're talking about okay. And I said okay.
Yeah, you did.
I gotta go.
You did.
I did. I definitely did.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
No.
No.
I'm one of your hosts, Jared
No.
Hall.
Mike Delaware.
Kyle Byers.
Connor Cavalack.
God damn it.
That's Caleb Henry.
PBR.
That's always GBR.